What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are hanging in there in the crazy market. Definitely a little bit more wild of a day than I thought we were gonna get yesterday. So a little bit of a potential breakout, but better news is we got Albert in the house. Good morning to you. We got Cheryl in the house. Good morning to you, Chris, Cindy, Corey. We got Frank. Good morning to Georgia, Jay, Jeff, Joe, JT, Lucian. Good morning to Marius, Martina, Peter, Rob, Shane. All my peeps out in YouTube land. We got Richard Jett. We got Levi. Good morning to you. David Cooks. Good morning to you. All my lurkers in the background. They're just not going to say anything the whole time and just listen. It's okay. I still love you. It's just hit that like and subscribe button. That's it. That's all. Lucia says Cat 4. Yeah, so that's the good news on the Hurricane Hurricane Watch 2024. Yeah, so the Cat 5 got downgraded, which is still intense, but and I think they said it might not affect Tampa as much. It might be coming down a little bit more south. So hopefully everyone stays safe. If you're still staying in Florida, if you live in Florida, hopefully you're well, and all your property possessions, everything stays all right too. And hopefully it's a big nothing burger. That's what we hope for. But Spy yesterday, not so much of a nothing burger. Lucia says no, the Cat 3 got upgraded when it hits land. I thought it was a 5 now. I thought it was a 5 now. Saying it's getting the Cat 3 got upgraded. So you're saying it's even more? I thought it was a 5 now, and then it got downgraded to a 4. It is, but it was 3 at land 4, now it's 4. Okay, so not as great. Okay. But yeah, I think that's supposed to be what, tonight? And I know Lucian, you're safe. You pretty much moved, which is good. Peter says, yeah, stay safe from living in Florida. Mm-hmm. 2 a.m. landfall. Okay, so real late. All right, we'll see what happens. Spy. We did have a gap and go. We talked about the different levels of resistance yesterday, so we had a few levels that we had to get some work done. So where we open right around here, right into a resistance, obviously a pretty powerful gap and go. So we did trap a lot of people. I think that helped spark some of the move that we had yesterday. Just some people like, man, I'm wrong again. Good thing I traded in a chop market for the last 3 weeks. But pretty good gap and go. We did trap some of those bears. They were able, the bulls, to get it above that first level of resistance. But then we had one other one. Then we had another one over here. So we closed above all of those. So I'm liking it bullish still. For now. For now. We had to survive two things. Two things. And then I think we are free and clear to kind of run. Let's go three things. There's one other sneaky thing in there too. But one was we have to, with that kind of close, not get some kind of gap down, and now you trap all the bulls, and then we just skyrocket down. We avoided that one. So far so good. We do have the Fed minutes coming out at 2 p.m. today. I don't know how much of an impact that's going to have. That's pretty much the notes that they had from the last meeting. But today we have 2 p.m. If there's any kind of shockers in there or anything kind of crazy, and then we start closing lower. I don't think that's the end of the road, but I think that could at least damper some of the Bulls' momentum. And then tomorrow is going to be the big one. That's CPI. Honestly, I don't think CPI is going to affect the market too much. I don't unless there's something very crazy in there or something just abnormal. I think we come in essentially in line. I'm not waiting on any big shockers in the CPI, but we do have the CPI. If everything is in line tomorrow, or even a small beat or something like that, comes in a little lighter, as long as it's not like an extremely, I think even if it's a little bit hot, you get some kind of reaction, but I don't think it's going to be a huge one. But as long as there's nothing in the CPI tomorrow, I think we have the opportunity to just kind of continue this momentum up. So I'm still in the bull camp. I think this was kind of our breakout candle that we had yesterday. Also, we did have a good little retracement into that 20 EMA. There's obviously a few levels up here. This candle would be a huge one. this candle, if from October 1st, if we get any closes past that, that volume, that red, every single bear in there is trapped. Not quite out of the woods yet, but I think that's a really, really good sign. And then the next level, we got to get a close above 574.38. Momentum is right back in the bulls. We've had Nvidia just rocketing. I think Jensen had a few conferences yesterday. He was talking, and you got the chips kind of leading the way back into it. So good rotation. We had the PayPal's of the world. We had we even had ALB moving, but we had a lot of the SoFis, smaller cap names. They all had some bids. While Nvidia did nothing for kind of a decent amount of time. And now you got Nvidia, the chips starting to wake up again, and that could be just rotation back into tech and maybe carries us to the next little rotation and sideways chop for a little bit. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We're very close to all-time highs, though. We're not too far off. For today, if we do pull back, this is a technical retest gap. Not really gapping too much. We're up a little bit on the SPY, but if we pull back, look for 571.95 to hold. To the higher side, there's not much really to go off of except for some of those higher candles, higher wicks. As we got up here, we were putting in quite a few wicks before that sell-off candle, but I'm looking today for some kind of close above the October 1st candle. If we could do that, look at this monthly chart. Monthly chart is, even if we do nothing for the rest of the month, we got a lot of time left. We got a lot of time in this month. But even if we do nothing and this candle looks like this by the end of the month, I think I'm okay with that. And then we start breaking above it. I mean, right now it's still showing us we had some kind of a dip. We got bought back up. We could go crazy bullish too. Like we could still break out of here. Not that we have one of those wicks, but we early in the month, big wick where we sold off, end of the world, rallied, ended green. Same thing here. Early in the month, sold off, rallied green. So are we just doing one of those again? It's possible. It's possible, but we'll see. We've got a lot of time left in this month. Let's check out the Qs. The Qs still has a little bit more room to go till we hit all-time highs again. I think the focus is kind of coming back into the tech zone, so this might be their opportunity. It was an okay close. It was a good candle. We're gonna need to see a little bit more. I need to see a little bit more on this one. So I want to see today's close above 489.55. If it doesn't happen today, we wait for CPI. CPI just we get some kind of continuation. So be it. But that's the zone I'm looking for. Somewhere around this 489.55. We get above it. Would be phenomenal for the Bulls. I think that sets us up for at least another move. Probably today. Target would be 493.12. If the rest of the market is kind of anticipating good light CPI tomorrow, then maybe our stretch goal is 495.52. This is again not really much of a gap. We're actually gapping down a few pennies. So on this pullback, if we're retesting, I'm looking for 478.73. So maybe we come down first. We hit that. We look for some kind of support, and then we get that bounce, and we'll see where we want to close for today. So we will see. All right, we got Tessie. Tesla's the first one. If you guys got other stocks you want to take a look at, let me know if anything looks interesting. But we got Tesla. Mm, I don't know. uh, mm, when's that Robo conference? Is that today? The Robo taxi event? Is that today or is that tomorrow? Tomorrow? Yeah. So I got good news, got some bad news, I got some indifferent news. Bad news is I got two levels of VPOX, two levels of volume. We are opening underneath it. It is a small little gap down. It's nothing crazy. We almost got down to that previous VPOC. We didn't really break through it, didn't really touch it, but 239.75. So as long as we stay above that, I'm good. We actually are opening. I got one level over here, still above that one, and then you got the 20 to hold you up. Yesterday's candle, as much as it was green, still just an inside candle. It looks a little like a Harame, so this is where the good news, bad news comes in. If we could break above the candle from 2 days ago, this red candle, this is your little pullback. This is your little resting candle. That's your confirmation. That's still a distance away for the bulls. So, but that would be your confirmation, and then you're looking for this, at least this gap fill. If you break down today's candle, again, you still have some kind of support down over at 239.75 ish. But then if you break that, I think your next target's going to take you into this 231.42. So for right now, pre-market, before we ring the bell, I've got nothing, just some hangout. And then I think any moves that we have would be for anticipation for the meeting tomorrow. And then again, let's talk about the follow through. Even if we break this today, so if we break out of this candle from the 7th for Monday today, it doesn't mean that the news is going to be bad for Tesla or disappointing to say the least. And then you don't get that extra follow through. And then the same thing, if you start breaking down, we start closing. But if I was really looking to go long, if this thing did break down and then we do have the RoboTaxi event tomorrow, if I could get somewhere in the 231.42, if I could get into the 230 zone, I would have no problem probably picking up a couple calls, some long dated calls just ahead of tomorrow's event, just to see what happens. And then maybe looking for some puts if I could get to like 257.92. So not a big tell pre-market. Looks a little choppy, but we'll see how the trend kind of moves today. Let's see. There was one more with that one. SMCI looked interesting. SMCI looked interesting. We do have Nvidia, which we'll check out next. But all of yesterday's candle was essentially a retest. So big move 2 days ago on Monday. Tuesday, we had a nice little gap up right into resistance. Kind of makes sense. You got some profit taking. Today, again, it's not any confirmation. There's no like, yeah, this is definitely a home run. But I kind of like it bullish today. I kind of would go back into the bull camp. We do have some support that we got into. Kind of these levels. I don't really want to see a break below $44. That's kind of where we tested almost perfectly yesterday. We did get out VPOX higher than some of those levels. And we're gapping up above yesterday's VPOX. So I still like it bullish. Maybe it's a little high wave out of the candle, out of the gate. The downside to SMCI for right now is you will have to kind of reface this 46-47 zone. We've messed with it now twice. I think that's a little easier to break. And then targets for today would probably take me up to 47.70. That being said, there was some bullish catalyst going into the open of yesterday, and I think all of this is profit taking. So that might get us back into a little overextended move on SMCI. So I got it pretty high on my list, but I'll be leaning a little bit to the bull side on this one for sure. Let's check out Nvidia. So Nvidia was gapping up. This one is still gapping up. This should be a retest gap. We're starting to get to the all-time high zone on Nvidia again. But we're also opening at a little bit of resistance on this one. That's going to take us at 134.43, essentially where we're at now. If it can break a little bit higher, you get a green shoot out of the gate. That's going to take us to 135.65. Otherwise, this should be a retest gap. So I'd be a little hesitant, at least at open, to go bullish. And it's Nvidia, so maybe, who knows. But I don't think I could be buying it here with some resistance above us, with all-time highs very close to us. If you get a pullback, the spot to, I think, look would be somewhere around this 132.49. So I'd want to see if this thing could retrace. There is some money to the downside if you are quick enough for some kind of a breakdown at the morning bell. We'll see what happens. But I'd prefer a green candle in a positive direction, hit that resistance, reject it, and then you get your pullback. But not a huge range on it today, unless the bigger range is bullish. The bigger range is bullish. So if you could break through, I think this 135.58, you're probably testing. I don't know if we get to all-time highs today, but I think you have a big range to the bull side. I would like a pullback first. HELE. Nathan says affirm. Yeah, I was looking at affirm too. Kind of looks interesting. Helen of Troy. I think we tried to trade this one a while ago. I don't remember if it was a good trade or a bad trade, or I don't remember what happened with this one. But this one is just off its all-time lows. No, still just in a pullback zone. At least on a monthly zone, there's not a lot of volume that we're in now. So your support on this one is somewhere around 63.29, and then you have your higher side probably close to $84. So good range on both sides. Could move sporadically. From a daily perspective, there's really nothing in here because we gap down. So we're in that gap fill. What was the news on this one? Is there news? Let's see. Full year outlook as fiscal second quarter results, top estimates. What's the short squeeze on this one? Hmm. August down from 174, a year before 6 months. Sales decreased by 3 points. So far, everything in this report doesn't look good. Oh, that's probably it. Top the 458.9 million consensus based on the same number for analysts. So we're pleased to report second quarter earnings results above expectations. So, all right. So better than expected results. 10% short float. Nothing stopping us. This might be a short float I want to play. I don't know how spready this one is. That could be a problem. Really good gap. I would love to see it drop, but at the same time, I don't know if I do. I kind of want to just what's the pre-market activity? This one could actually go a little bit wild. It's got a lot of room on it. Decent amount of bearish trap. I mean, I'm not setting this up, but bullish entry here. So if you get a pullback on this one, I'd be looking for about $70.92 if we could come down and retest that. Otherwise, maybe you have your stops. That's still wide. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait for the bell on this one, but I'll throw an arbitrary stop here. 71.88. You got a lot of room to the higher side. We're gonna get this one. We got this one high on the list. That could be a great squeeze candidate. Interesting. All right, we got AMD. AMD. Volume. So I think if you're playing this one, target to the higher side, somewhere around 178.22. We still got some room on this one. This one took forever to do something yesterday. Then it was kind of looking weak when everything was looking strong. It was a challenge, but the Bulls at the end of the day, there was a couple battles they lost, but they ended up winning the war. That was a great close. We should have really good support now building in somewhere around 171.45. So wouldn't want to see it break that. And then target to the higher side again. First stop would take me into this 176.63 zone. I think we will probably be met with some resistance. This is also a retest gap. So as much as there's some room to the higher side, would like to see it go higher. I think you probably are going to sit with this pullback first. Did we get into any of those 176 zones pre-market? Not quite yet. You got about $1 until resistance comes in. So risk to reward might be a little tough on this one. Unless you think it's going to get through 176.80. The next spot up would take you to 177.41. And a really amazing day. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. We got 180.74. That's a stretch, so I'm probably gonna need to sit on this one, wait for it to pull back first, try to get myself a little bit better risk reward, but I do think it goes higher. Whether that's today, tomorrow. I think that 176 high 176 zone, 177 might be decent. All right, let's see. We got Affirm AFRM. Mm, Affirm looks good still. So again, retest gap. Targets on this one could be tough too. But that's a good looking double bottom. So good looking double bottom. I think the next target to the higher side would probably land us in this 43.20 zone. So that's going to be a little challenge under the dollar to hit your profits. If we could break it, the next spot I think you're looking for probably somewhere in the 44.06 zone. But again, a retest. I think you're going to probably want to wait on this one. This maybe we don't get a full retest. Maybe I think we could do. I think we do. At some point, I think at some point this 41.16 comes back, retests. Otherwise, small pullback on this one for today, 41.99. See what happens at that level. If we start breaking through, I think might as well hold for that 41.19, 41.22 zone. So, but it is starting to look pretty interesting. Good double bottom. Let's see how much volume we got in these zones. Nothing too crazy. You got a whole lot of room to go if you can get this breakout, which looks phenomenal. Probably longer term targets into like the 64.75 zone. So that gives you a good 50% upside for a swing trade basis. But probably a little chop. And again, yeah, you even have a little volume coming in over 43.29-ish. So for better risk reward, I think I'd have to wait on this pullback, but it is starting to look pretty interesting. Amazon, yeah, so Amazon gapping up today too. I don't know if they held it. Yeah, about a buck. Not bad. So we got about a just under a dollar gap up on this one. We're taking out that candle, which was right off that 100 EMA. I don't. We have good resistance on this one, 184.25. That's not a bad one. Bigger resistance, stronger resistance, which I think that would be my target for today. And it's not an easy one to get to with some other previous resistance in the way, but I'd be looking for like a 184.80. That takes me right into that 20 EMA. We are gapping above the 50. This is a retest gap too, so maybe we can get a little bit of a pullback. Look for about 183.08, 183 even, something like that for an entry. So I'd want to see maybe a small pullback. I'd go high wave on this one. I'm a little concerned in this range with it's not like a wide open runway where we're just like, man, look at all that profit we could get. I think it's gonna be a difficult trade here, but if you're going to get a bounce on Amazon longer term, I would even think this is somewhere in the. Let's throw a quick little fib on this one. You might even be at a 50% 618. Yeah, you got a perfect bounce off that 618 after that breakout. So this is not a bad spot even for a swing trade, I would say. If you're looking for a swing, Amazon might be decent. Jake says, can you go over SPY? Yeah, we did go over SPY. We did cover SPY, Jake. You got to rewind it. Rewind to YouTube, but it looks good. Really good breakout yesterday. So I would still stay more bullish at open though. Who knows? We could get some kind of pullback. Look for 572.03 as some kind of support. Otherwise, the only thing you're really dealing with is that candle from the first. So I want to see some kind of close above it, but see if there's a little pullback first. If there is, 572.22-ish would be your hold spot. ORCL. But yeah, every day we cover SPY. Right out of the gate. Right at 9 a.m. We got Oracle. Oracle is looking fantabulous. Is that a word? It should be. mean, this entire candle is a retest candle. That was a. I don't think you're trapping any bears on that candle. That's all. That's all selling. That's all. That's all profit taking. So I think I'd remain bullish. I'm gonna get this one up here. I've got no targets on this one. We're just gonna buckle in and go for the ride on this one. Is this the best spot to buy? Probably not. I would I would safely assume if you get a retest, 172.92 would be your spot, which I would look at. Otherwise, that's a good open. That's a good open for some continuation on Oracle. Is it the most confident entry I would ever take right here when the bell rings? Probably not. I would be a little bit more confident somewhere around that 172.83. But I think it looks pretty good, Rob. Yeah. Pretty fantastic. Let's see. We got Apple AAPL. We got 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. Let's see. We got good candle yesterday. You got some decent room if this could get a breakout. The first stop on this one will be 226.62. The one after that, what did I say? 262? 226.62. The next spot will be 226.93. So that's where I would put my targets. If we could get above that, it's going to be a pretty crazy day, but 227.99. It's got some room. This was a good breakout candle. Nice gap and go. We are pulling back. We're already very close to yesterday's VPOC. This one might be a look at open. This one might be a decent one at open if we could get some levels, get a good candle in there. But it's got some range, and we've already kind of done the pullback on it. So looks decent. Jake says sub yesterday after I saw your volume video. Awesome, man. I think that was Jeremy that did that volume. Missed the WOOF, but yeah, welcome. Appreciate you having here. We're here live every single trading day from 9 a.m. to 9:30. All right, we got Wolf that is still in the move. Got good continuing. Ooh, look at the look at the lack of resistance on Wolf. This is a stock that makes you just want to say Wolf. Look for continuation on this one. It's probably another high short float stock too. Let's see if I can add this one real quick. And I think that bell is about to ring. Let's see. Yeah, the volume video is good. If anybody has not seen the volume video that Jeremy did, make sure you guys check it out. It's an awesome one. All right, we got Wolf high on the list. That sound of the bell does mean I have to disconnect. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. You guys are also begin. We do this every day, 9 to 9:30 live for you guys on YouTube. And then you're welcome to trade with us all day. Just go to reallifetrading.com and we will see you guys tomorrow. Later, guys.